USS Mason and the oiler USNS Leroy Grumman. And it was two
USS
Ram
Mason,
tugs that responded very quickly to the scene. They were able to get lines onto the spar with Lyra and help divert the course of the ship. On this, the March 29, 2024 edition of What's Going On with Shipping, we look at the timeline of the motor vessel Dolly striking the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to today's episode. So the NTSB has recovered the vessel data recorder and provided a press conference yesterday where they did a TikTok, basically broke down the time. We're going to take a look at that and some new information that came out, and also reference you over to some good sources if you want to understand some aspects about ship operation. If you're new, you don't have any idea about how ships operate, I'm going to give you the links to go to that I think will provide you the best information out there. If you're new to the channel, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you'll be alerted about new videos as they come out. So one of the videos I recommend you go take a look at is NTSB on YouTube. They are posting what they call B-roll footage, but it is drone footage. It is people on board the ship taking a look at the vessel. You'll see right here, these are inspectors up on the bow of the vessel of the Dolly inspecting it. Notice you see the hazmat barrel right there. See the bridge across it. This ship has the entire bridge structure sitting on
Pink Floyd has all the imagery from the explosion,
the ship is actually on the bottom,
everything about this bridge in their video, and I recorded it 3 days before the bridge collapsed.
Very complex environment. So we're going to do a whole separate thing when it comes to salvage of the vessel and talk about it in some detail. But I just want you to be able to reference this. Go take a look at the full video. They'll take you through the entire
It even moves in the same direction. Look at
it's pretty pronounced. You'll also notice that up on the bow of all container ships is where the hazardous material is stowed. You'll see some placards here.
Start right here.
1993, that's a flammable liquid. We don't know exactly what the hazardous material is. This is not unusual. All container ships have hazardous material up forward. This is what you don't want it deep in the ship, so if there's a problem, you could lose the ship. You want it up front, so if there is a problem, it can be isolated.
And there goes the next video I'm doing. Smashing Pumpkins tonight.
Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right?
Sounds like it.
Efforts are ramping up Baltimore port after the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Overnight, the largest crane on the eastern seaboard arrived to help lift debris from the water. And it will be a massive undertaking. Officials say the section of the bridge trapping the cargo ship weighs between 3,000 and 4,000 tons. Chris Van Cleve has more from Dundalk, Maryland.
Wow. See that?
From the water, an up-close look at the mission facing the Army Corps of Engineers.
Pictures don't do it justice. So you're looking at a vessel that weighs nearly
These pictures are doing it
95,000 tons that was sailing at about 10 knots when it had its collision with the pier.
General Scott Spellman is leading the team in an around-the-clock race to reopen the Port of Baltimore.
Sailing at about 10 knots when it had its collision with the pier.
The bridge. You want to see knocking over. You want to see Pink Floyd knocking over the bridge, crashing into the yes, and destroying the bridge. Here we go. There it is. You see how it's moving? It's moving because it hit it. It hit it just like the boat. It in the boat, moved and hit the bridge and then collapsed. So just look at this as the boat right here, driving through. I want to see Pink Floyd knocking over the bridge, crashing into the yes. Here we go. There it is. You see how it's moving? It's moving because it hit it. It hit it just like the boat. Destroying the bridge. See, knocking over. I want to see Pink Floyd knocking over the bridge, crashing it. that I'm moving it according to the way I'm moving it. And then all at the same time, 3 days beforehand, in 3 days, Floyd's video is this bridge right here. And then as that is so connected to that, but because it starts moving it and it starts to make a left-hand turn, just like the boat here hitting the bridge, showing you at the same exact time. There it is, knocked into it. Time. 3 days beforehand, in 3 days, Floyd's video is this bridge right here. And as that is so connected to that, but because it starts moving it and it starts to make a left-hand turn, just like the boat here hitting the bridge, showing you at the same exact time. There it is. Knocked into it. As you see the smoke, as you As you see the smoke, you're also seeing smoke here and a fire color here. So here's your fire and your puff of smoke. And Pink Floyd, even your fire here, the bridge color fell down as all the imagery is even lining up from my own footage over here to my own images. So here's video, here's images. I'm giving breath, I'm giving life to these images so they can speak, cause all those that, you're not gonna be able to buy or sell without the mark. Here's how I give life to the image. That's only if you have eyes to see, and then you'll see it.
Victim's brothers, who was supposed to work on the bridge Tuesday morning, filling potholes, and had a shift change at the last minute.
Shift change.
He met with one of the
Look at
survivors,
that shit.
Cervantes,
As she said that.
yesterday, and told us his
I'm here to repair the bridge.
Some have been in the country for quite some time, some less time, really feel as though their stories are being overlooked, that everyone is focused on the bridge, but they are really
It's even in triangle right here. It's even in triangle.
Julio Cervantes is dealing with, that everyone.
It's even in
everyone is
triangle.
focused on the bridge, but they are
In
really
explosion,
suffering, and
right
beyond
there.
just the physical
To
injuries
match
right now
the middle one.
Julio Cervantes is dealing with, the deepest pain
Match
is his
this.
trauma.
That
And
matches this.
Moses
To match
Diaz
that.
telling us that he
Still
can't
images,
stop picturing
video
the
footage,
collapse, seeing it in his mind play
future,
out over
picturing
and
it, because
over
I'm picturing it right now. I'm showing it
And Nicole, you
nonstop.
also flew with police to survey the scene. What did you see?
Here's what I see.
Yeah, we flew with the Baltimore County Police Department.
Here's
These
the
were
underneath
some of
bridge
the first
part.
pilots up in the air in the early hours
pilot
after
and the
the bridge
explosion.
collapsed, and they showed us with infrared technology how they desperately
Infrared.
scoured for victims but were unable to find them. Now they're assisting first responders, teams on the ground, and soon some of these salvage efforts, and just giving them real-time pictures.
All right, so out of all this, everything.
Debris that you can see in this massive cargo ship. It's also everything that's sunk to the bottom. Tons of debris that's 50 feet down. It all has to come off the floor before this channel and the Port of Baltimore can reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam of cargo ships unable to get in or out of the Port of Baltimore. It all has to come off the floor before this channel and the Port of Baltimore can reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam of cargo ships unable to get in or out of the reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam of cargo reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam of cargo ships unable to get in or out of the Port of Baltimore, plus 2 cruise ships that won't be able to return to the Charm City port that employs 8,000 people.
This is a core economic engine for our state, and we have to make sure that our workers are protected.
New video shows
1973.
traffic early Tuesday morning on the Francis Scott Key Bridge and that construction crew filling potholes. Moments before the dollies slammed into it.
1973.
Now, our first look on board the giant vessel as NTSB investigators work to gather evidence and
Then
continue
the
interviews
face
with
inside of this
24 crew.
image of the
Dolly's
blown up
voice data
image.
recorder shows about
Here's the eyeballs, and the tongue. Here's the eyeballs, and the tongue. It's like this black turd out here in fire. But in the video, you have the same thing in the still imagery on this end, which is the same 1973 over here, but 2024 over here. This and that, it's the same thing. In the middle,
the first sign of trouble. The onboard pilot called for help, asking nearby
see the lining up this right here.
Less than a minute later,
I agree.
Mayday.
Here, this and that, it's the same thing.
97
In the middle.
after the first sign of trouble, the onboard pilot called for help, asking nearby
See the
tugboats
lining up of this right here.
less than a minute later.
I agree.
Mayday call.
And then
the devastating collision. The damage on board is
the
extensive.
face.
Part of the bridge came down on the bow, leaving a deep gash. Cargo containers with hazardous material sit sheared open.
When you get out here on the water and you look at that, you really get a sense for the massive effort that we're dealing with.
The Army Corps of Engineers has to clear a 700-foot wide channel to get the port back open. Now, the Navy is bringing in the largest floating crane on the East Coast.
Actually, the nose was
overnight.
higher
It
up.
can lift up to 1,000 tons. But they think the piece of bridge laying across the ship weighs 3 or 4.
Stop.
Laying across the ship weighs 3 or 4.
Stop. Stop. 1973. 2024. On 3/26, 2024, you have the same turd with the eyes right here. The turd, like that, going up. It's a black piece of something in the ocean. And just take the mouth down to the bottom. The bridge is collapsing. And over here, you see the explosion. And then you'll see that Pink Floyd, 51 years ago, has the same imagery on this day right here. And it's through my video at the Philadelphia Art Museum.
Time's that, John. Chris Van Cleve. Thank you, Chris.
An eyeball here, an eyeball there, the nose here, the nose there, the mouth here, and the mouth there. This is lining up with the angle, this is lining up with that. This is lining up with this, that's lining up with that. This is my imagery recording Pink Floyd's music that blocked me today for some reason. You know, worked out in Art Museum. There's smoke here, which means it's an explosion.
Tonight, we're learning more about the victims. The brother of Minor Yassir Swazo Sandoval tells CBS News he wishes he could have stopped his brother from going to work. Moises Diaz was scheduled to fill potholes on the Key Bridge Tuesday, but his shift was changed. Every day, we give thanks to God for life, Diaz tells us. He's grieving the loss of 6 fellow construction
Look how identical that image. So not only is that video lining up with that video in Baltimore,
the miraculous story of his friend Julio Cervantes, one of
not only is it tied in to the bridge 3 days before the bridge collapsed, and in Pink Floyd, I didn't get a chance to get to it, but I recorded this before the bridge collapsed, 3 days beforehand. It just took me this much time to get to it. But as I'm getting to it, yikes. You can see that it's a yikes in the middle. So let me explain this. This is my imagery, still imagery, that I'll push the clicker and click it. This video here in the middle, I'm slowing down my original footage in the Art Museum. This is my footage here. This is the video from Money, Pink Floyd. This is also from Money, Pink Floyd. And this is also my footage in still shots. So I'm going to move it the way I want to. And over here, it's just slowed down for you. And so they're playing at separate times. Right. Now explain the right side. These separate times when you have your pyramids lining up, it's also lining up with the previous imagery at the same exact time, along with telling the story of how Pink Floyd has in their videos the destruction of that bridge that just happened 3 days after I went to the Art Museum. There you go. That's what I was waiting for, to explain that. And then show the bridge. You want to see knocking over, you want to see Pink Floyd knocking over the bridge, crashing into the, yes, and destroying the bridge. Here we go. There it is. There it is. You see how it's moving? It's moving because it hit it. It hit it just like the boat. It in the boat and hit the bridge and then collapsed. So just look at this as the boat right here, driving through. Right here it connects. As I'm letting this video play through slowly, and then I'm showing you the still imagery, and I'm moving it according to the way I'm moving it, and then all at the same time, 3 days beforehand, in 3 days, Floyd's video is this bridge right here, and then as that is so connected to that, but because it starts moving in it and it starts to make a left-hand turn, just like the boat here hitting the bridge, showing you at the same exact time. There it is, knocked into it. As you see the smoke, you're also seeing smoke here and a fire color here. So here's your fire and your puff of smoke. And Pink Floyd, even your bridge fire here, the bridge color fell down, as all the imagery is even lining up from my own footage over here to my own images. So here's video, here's images. I'm giving breath, I'm giving life to these images so they can speak and cause all those that, here's how I give life to the images. That's only if you have eyes to see, and then you'll see it.
Victims' brothers. He was supposed to work on the bridge Tuesday morning, filling potholes, and had a shift change at the last minute.
Shit change.
He met with one of the
Look at that.
survivors,
It's shit.
Cervantes,
Yeah, she said that.
yesterday, and told us his unbelievable escape story, that he was in his vehicle when the bridge collapsed.
You always have to keep in mind is Pink Floyd's video, the
March
2, that one, and then that one, 2024.
We're going to go 24/7.
That sounds like a massive effort.
It is a massive effort.
General Scott Spellman's team will work with crews from the Navy
Right here.
and Coast Guard to begin the salvage efforts to clear
Pink
the
Floyd's
waterway.
bridge
Divers
is going
will
to collapse
recover the remaining
bottom
4 bodies beneath the
bottom
ground
bridge
beneath the
on
rubble.
3/26, 2024.
Debris that you can see in this massive cargo ship. It's also everything that's sunk to the bottom. Tons of debris that's 50 feet down. It all has to come off the floor before Already there is a traffic jam of cargo ships unable to get in or out of the port of Baltimore, plus 2 cruise ships that won't be able to return to the Charm City port that employs 8,000 people.
This is a core economic engine for our state, and we have to make sure that our workers are protected.
1973.
Traffic early Tuesday morning on the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and that construction crew filling potholes.
In this case.
All right, I found it. Here we go. It's my footage.
The scope of the accident is enormous. The cargo ship Dolly
at the
is
bottom,
almost as long as the
both
Chrysler
ends,
building in New York City
at
is
different
tall.
times.
The wreckage sits where it fell early Tuesday morning, blocking access to one of the nation's busiest ports. We're surveying the damage with the commander
March
of the Army
23rd,
Corps of
2024.
Engineers.
The president called me
1973, and at the top, 1973, is Pink Floyd's video, the 2, that one, and then that one, 2024.
We're going to go 24/7.
That sounds like a massive effort.
It is a massive effort.
General Scott Spellman's team will work with crews from the Navy
Right here.
and Coast Guard to begin the salvage efforts to clear
Pink
the
Floyd's
waterway.
bridge
Divers
is going to
will recover the
collapse,
remaining
bottom
4 bodies beneath the
bridge,
trapped beneath the
bridge,
rubble.
326, 2024.
Debris that you can see in this massive cargo ship. It's also everything that's sunk to the bottom. Tons of debris that's 50 feet down. It all has to come off the floor before this channel and the port of Baltimore can reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam of cargo ships unable.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam of cargo ships.
Baltimore can reopen.
Right
Already
there.
there is a traffic jam. Already there is a traffic jam.
Port of Baltimore can reopen.
Right
Already there is a traffic jam. Wide channel to get the port back open. Now the Navy is bringing in the largest floating crane on the East Coast.
Actually, the nose was
overnight.
higher
It
up.
can lift up to 1,000 tons. They think the piece of bridge laying across the ship weighs 3 or 4.
Stop.
You know what? Until I met Wayne, I hated making videos. And that's the God's honest truth, Wayne. Yeah!
This is Wayne Isham. This is the pinnacle.
I'm just naturally blurry, so if you try to focus on me, I'll just always be out of focus.
He's got this incredible.
Green at the top, 1973, is Pink Floyd's video, the 2, that one, and then that one, 2024.
We're going to go 24/7.
That sounds like a massive effort.
It is a massive.
Video Killed the Radio Star takes you behind the lens of the most iconic videos ever created. It was the directors that called the shots, and there
Stop.
was the directors that called the shots created. It was the directors that called the star takes you behind the lens of the most iconic videos ever created. It was the directors that called the shots, and their work could make you or break you. This episode features the work of maverick director Wayne Isham.
Okay, Isham.
Of getting to know each other. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that was always there with Wayne. That was a big part of it. Was the friendship. We were mixing the Black Album down at A&M in Hollywood in the summer of '91. I remember he came down and we sat in a room not much bigger than this one, and we
Take my hand.
basically
Take my
riffed
hand
on
off to Never Never.
what are your worst nightmares? What are what are the recurring images in your dreams?
What do you like? What's your dream? What's your nightmare? What's your nightmare? What's your nightmare?
We came up with swimming pools and falling off buildings and trucks and all this type of stuff. He shot it actually on one of the sound stages at A&M. I think each of us were in there a couple hours. We did it all individually. It was dark, and I think most of us had our shirts off. It was back when we could take our shirts off and not embarrass ourselves. If it was anything, it was better than I expected. I thought there were a lot of very cool sequences, but I was unsure about the snake crawling on the kid's face. I thought that the MTV censors were going to have a field day with that, but
God, you are the temple of...
if it was anything, it was better than I...
Here's where everybody was clapping. Everybody was clapping. I'm like, oh, thank you.